you have read Kamasutra for such a long time. You've been trying to really decode it. What made you really uh, go ahead and write your own book, The Art of Seduction?
So, the Kama Sutra is a treatise, and it's written in metaphor. So, people always ask me, do you read the original in Sanskrit? Even if I wanted to, I couldn't, because that was written in literary Sanskrit. Most of those words are not even in usage anymore. Like in English, there's so many words that we used, I don't know, 500 years ago that we don't use anymore. So the problem with understanding, and of course, there is not just the one Kama Sutra, it was rewritten so many times, thousands of times. There's no such thing as the original. Even if you take the Kama Sutra that was written in the 3rd century AD or the 4th century AD, and you take the one that was written in the 8th century, society has moved on, so people have added stuff to it, they've taken stuff out of it. So it's very difficult to kind of say the original. And Vatsen himself doesn't write anything original. He said that he just took things that were written from 1,000 years ago. He's copied and pasted the bits that he likes. I found that the biggest issue was that it's written in metaphor. It's like if you go out and read the Bhagavad Gita, even if you read it in Sanskrit, you cannot understand what it says because those words are not straightforward words. There is a backstory to everything. It's the same with the Kam Shastras. So I really wanted to say that I wanted people to understand what those metaphors meant because, Saloni, this is the vocabulary that was used to write all our epic romances. So whether it was Kalidas writing Meghadutam or Kumar Sambhavam, whether it was Dandin writing the Dashakumar Charita, thousands of years, 2,000 years of our classical Sanskrit literature is based on this, the Geet Govind, etc. It's based on this vocabulary. So it was just, for me, it was just a case of, I got to a point where I got so excited by what I was finding in there. I decided I had to write it. And the very first thing that got me excited was the jewelry. The different things it says about jewelry.
Tell me more.
Okay. So I think that this is where the real light bulb moment went off for me. Every single position in times gone by, first I discovered that each position is known by a piece of jewelry. Not because they were being like, oh, let's not talk about the position, let's be all shy, but because women were taught how to perform a position by how different pieces of jewelry move on their body. Okay. So if you were going to be on top as a woman, which was in the ancient world a forbidden position for women, for the rest of the world, because that's the position of power. The Kama Sutra says you could be on top, but you do this position by only moving your hips. You don't move the upper part of your body. Now, if you watch porn today, which is the only place that we can go to today to learn about sex, you see this position where women are on top, and you'll notice the woman is bouncing away like a ball on top. This is how it's done. It's the worst way that a woman can be on top because we are told that we have up to 22 G-spots within the vagina. And when you bounce up and down, you miss every single one of those. So it's not pleasurable for a woman. But basically, the idea was that you wore, if you were going to be on top, you wore a jingling girdle around your waist, lots of ghungroos, and then you made sure that the ghungroos didn't make a sound.
Oh.
Okay? Now, that meant that you were only moving a certain part of your body and in a certain way, which now is connecting to all your different G-spots. And it was coupled with long earrings, which were supposed to dangle and kind of work in an arc across your cheek as you moved. And that set the pace.
Wow.
I think that was just worth every bit of studying that I had done on it. I had read this for years. I'd read in the Jain literature particularly, the men are going to battle or they're going somewhere. And then there is a party the evening before. And it says, and the women came with their jingling girdles. And you just think, yeah, okay, fine, they came with jewelry. You don't know what it's about till much later where you realize it's going to be that kind of party. You know what I like? Or it's like
Or
the
it meant
idea,
something
it
to wear
meant
it.
something. Yeah, that the fact that there was more to it. The second thing I discovered was the so anyway, sorry, there's
No, so
a
I
piece of
saw
jewelry
this.
for everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think there's another thing that I read from your page on jewelry was how women has a lot of pleasure points. The one around pleasure points on the hand, and how there's jewelry around that. So the heart fool that one wears is because there are certain pleasure points
Yeah.
on the hand as well, and hence there are ornaments around. But I did not know the story of movement of jewelry.
And it's
Has such a
literally,
deep meaning.
Saloni, every position had its own piece of jewelry that taught you. So the sitting position is a 7-string necklace of pearls, which has to move in a particular way from side to side. And again, to get that movement of the jewelry, there is a certain way that you have to move. And you know what really strikes me, aside from the fact that it gets every nerve ending of mine tingling and excited, I always think, look at the beauty with which they approach the idea of pleasure and sex. That this is pure beauty. It's not just the fact that you're looking at how to have perfect sex, but the fact that they're approaching it as something gorgeous, not as something shameful and dirty.